K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie.
Live long and prosper.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are in the green today. Bitcoin sitting at around $48,500 up. It was up about 5%, has pulled back just a little bit. On top of that, we also did have the S&P having a bounce off of the legacy support right here, and not to mention the fact that Bitcoin is finally back above its 200 daily moving average. You can see right here, we are in fact back above these levels. So we need to talk about what is going on with Bitcoin, because in my previous video, we had actually discussed the possibility of sort of the lengthening cycle and maybe even retesting the $30,000 level, putting in a giant double bottom, which we know are extremely bullish. However, today we just had some insane confluence. Now, this is absolutely incredible, guys. This is a major trend for Bitcoin that started over 3 years ago. We just had confirmation on it today, and we also have not only technical indicators, but on-chain data that are all signaling positive for Bitcoin. So this is crazy. I mean, it literally went from, and this is what I love about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I mean, literally, things could be looking absolutely terrible. You're sitting below the, 200 daily, you might be looking for this double bottom, and then all of a sudden you do have this nice pump overnight. Now, I'm not going to get too excited. We have to stay realistic because we're not quite out of the water just yet. But there is some amazing and incredible news we need to talk about. Also from the US SEC, finally something decently bullish coming out of their territory. And also for all my friends that are interested, I do have another crypto altcoin to keep your eyes on that I do think is going to do quite well in the upcoming few months moving into next year. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, let's dive into the charts. Now, you can see right here, look at what Bitcoin was doing. Now, we were following this downwards trend, right? We were just stuck in this channel. But right here where we hit the support, you could see we didn't fall lower. In fact, what we did was we put in a classic double bottom, right, where we come here, we touch again, and we did break the trend line. You can actually see that we did break this downward sloping trend line. And also, sorry guys, I just zoomed out. Let me bring this back up. If we have a look right here, you could see that currently, as I'm making this video, we are in fact retesting the downward slope right here as support. So this could potentially, if we do put in a nice daily candle above this level, this could actually be potentially an amazing opportunity to put in a long. If you guys are interested, this is what we're looking for, is building those supports. If you are looking to trade Bitcoin, it takes 20 seconds to sign up to any of these exchanges, over $8,000 in bonuses. Make sure that you guys use the links below in the description, but this is looking short-term pretty damn positive for Bitcoin. Now, you can see just statistics have $40 billion of inflows into Bitcoin, recovering in just the last 24 hours. It was sitting below 46,000, and you can see that the market cap increased by 45.55 billion. So in 24 hours, it went from 875 to about 921, and some of the altcoins are in absolute beast mode today as well. And I do have to show you this. Shout out to Income Sharks. So is Peter Schiff not kind of the sort of bottom indicator? He says, obviously he comes out, Bitcoin's falling. He says the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is now trading at a 21% discount to the NAV. It looks like many investors who were persuaded to drop gold and buy Grayscale Bitcoin are cutting their losses. They may also be giving up hope that the trust converts to an ETF, yet another bearish sign for Bitcoin. And lo and behold, we do in fact have the breakout. Now, you can see right here, however, the reason that we can't get too excited immediately is because if we actually look at this resistance that was holding us down here, you can even argue that maybe this was a little bit of a bull trap, right? But we did have resistance here, we had resistance here, we had resistance here, and it also acted as resistance with the exception of, this little sort of maybe bull trap right here. And currently we are being held below that level. So we still haven't broken above the legacy resistance just yet. However, this is incredible. So first, you have Will Clemente, right? He does a lot of on-chain data. Now, he's talking about this illiquid supply shock ratio. You can see right here, Okay, we have bullish divergence, bullish divergence, bullish divergence. And every time we fall to the bottom, people go, oh, on-chain is hopium, right? People say on-chain is useless. It doesn't work. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus and trying to figure all this stuff out. He says, wouldn't it be pretty funny if this bullish divergence played out like the last two? Just watching price action to confirm that it's playing out. Patience is key. And we actually had the bounce. But this isn't even the craziest part. This is the craziest part. So this is just looking at on-chain data, right? If you just look at the technicals and you look at this long-term 3-day support on the RSI, you could see we had the formation of it right down here around November 24th in 2018. During the major crash during COVID, we had support again. This was May 9th to May 10th. We also had multiple areas of support right here. And this was during the reaccumulation stage of the Wyckoff pattern. And my friends, I kid you not, we literally just bounced again perfectly. Whoa. Is this incredible or what? I mean, guys, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is a legacy trend. This has been happening since the massive dump back in November of 2018, where we did hit almost the bottom of the bear market. And you could see this has lined up absolutely perfectly. Guys, I'm not saying that the bull run is like totally 100% just going to 100K. I'm not saying that like we still can't have a little bit of that, reaccumulation down at the bottom. But what I am saying is that you cannot deny that this is incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. This is showing that there is massive strength. There is massive support. And yeah, I mean, the fact that we had over 40 billion flow in just at this time, and you have to consider that there are, in fact, a lot of, algos, bots that are trading Bitcoin. So, these key levels, some people say, oh, TA doesn't work. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. Well, no, guys, the reason that it works is because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because there are a lot of traders out there that set their algorithms, that set their bots to these key levels, to Fibonacci's, to pay attention to things like, these divergences and other things. Now, the one thing that I am going to point out, and I've been saying this, is we do have more resistance than we do support. And if you do look at the fact that we did have this falling wedge pattern right here, which obviously, you can move these lines wherever you want, really. I mean, if we go back here, you could argue that we did break out of the falling wedge pattern, right? You could say right here that essentially this was the support, right? And then you could say that this was the resistance, and you could say that this was a bull trap, this was a bear trap, and we did in fact just break out, right? But, another way that you can also look at it is if you follow this line more closely and, you don't bring this down, you actually just look at these previous supports that we had, because keep in mind, you have to do it chronologically, right? Obviously, this support came in before this move because it happened before it in real time. So because of that, if we actually look at that, then really what's been happening is this bottom right here is acting as resistance. You can also see that this top resistance is also acting as resistance, and the heart line, which is the center of both of these, has literally come to almost like a spider web pattern, right? Right here. And we're having a crisscross of all three of these lines. And I mean, my friends, if you zoom in right here, look at exactly where Bitcoin is having its difficulty. I mean, you have three resistances, coming together like a spider web, and they're not allowing Bitcoin to break out of this level. But if Bitcoin does break out of this level, then I do believe the next move is 51,712, and then yeah, we got to get above this 50. It's almost 54,000, and that would break us out of the blue zone territory. So take it a day at a time, guys. We have a lot of resistance here, but if we can break out of this, then I would definitely take this as a trade, not financial advice. Would definitely long that. And I would say that, you can take some profit at 51,655, and the next level would be 53,941. But remember, what we really want to do, essentially, is get back above this purple trend, right, where we had this support right here. We want that to become support again, and that's still sitting above $55,000. So, I think in the short term, if Bitcoin can get above sort of 54,000, that would be good. But 55,000 is really, it's actually a little higher than that. It's actually closer to 55,700, but 55,000, in my opinion, would be good. This was a very nice move. Still from top to bottom, we are still down 28%. So It's a small victory, but we can't quite say that it has reversed. However, one thing that I do like, and keep in mind that the BLX chart is 1 day behind. Okay, so this chart is literally a day behind. So it does say that Bitcoin is still sitting at 46,900. But look at this, guys. Look at that bounce. We did have the bounce off of the 2.618. So I don't know, guys. It's entirely possible that we could build structure here and start going up. Like I said, it wouldn't be impossible to come back down here to this level and then, like I said, build that, double bottom. I mean, ultimately, like, I hate to say that. I don't want Bitcoin to go back down to 30K, but that would be the strongest support. But I mean, hey, guys, if we build support right here at this level, that's also amazing as well. So I am definitely excited about that. And I just wanted to also mention before we move on to the rest of this video that Bloomberg did have they did publish this article, and they were talking about financial institutions that just continue to keep jumping into the cryptocurrency bandwagon, investing in such funds as Grayscale and Galaxy Digital. They're talking about billions of dollars that have come in. Overall, the amount of investment in crypto funds has actually more than doubled this year. So Bloomberg Intelligence says that they believe that the demand among investors would be far higher if a Bitcoin spot exchange fund was approved in the US. Now, I told you yesterday that the US only accounts for about 25% of that global influence, but 25% still being, a quarter of all the influence. If we did get a Bitcoin spot ETF, it would be incredible for demand. And according to James Safart from the Bloomberg Intelligence Analytics team, he says that a crypto spot ETF would bring in a lot more assets to the space. He says, I can't help but think that the assets in this space would be even larger if we had more efficient structures like spot ETFs in the US. And, just kind of pointed out, in 2020 alone, the amount of crypto assets in funds totaled around 24 billion. By this year's end, it's around 63 billion. So this is more than double. We went from 24 to 63, and this is only with the ProShares Futures ETF. Guys, I'm telling you, massive, massive, massive. In fact, if you're following me on my Twitter, I was just looking at this last night, and I wanted to make an update, but it was like literally 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, do I make a video at 1 o'clock in the morning? It's probably not necessary. Most people are probably asleep. But man, I was just saying, I don't think people understand how unbelievably bullish and legendary, I said, 2022 is going to be for Bitcoin. It's going to be such an incredible year, regardless of whether or not we do even have that reaccumulation down at those lower levels. We may not now. We may not. Honestly, after what just happened overnight, we may not. But, I'm not going to become ultimate moon boy until we really, really, really break above those previous resistances, right? So let's talk about other things in crypto, because it's not just Bitcoin. You're also seeing, metaverse, DeFi, gaming, NFTs, all these different things. Now, you did have Ubisoft getting some backlash after they were looking to add NFTs to, what game was it actually? Tezos-based Quartz platform. And this was to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Now, I was actually on YouTube and I was looking. There are a lot of people that are saying, that these companies are greedy. There's no reason for them to, bring NFTs into games. We don't need that. So there is a little bit of a mix between traditional gamers and maybe us who are a little more into the blockchain space. Now, personally, I do think it's inevitable. I think it's coming to games in general, centralized or blockchain, whatever. I do think NFTs are here to stay, okay? And you can see that the publisher is pushing ahead with the NFT plans and will stay true to its principles amid a partnership with crypto startup Aleph.im. Now, not to kind of toot my own horn, guys, but Aleph is a project that we did speak about quite a long time ago. In fact, we were accumulating it down here. It did, in fact, put in a double bottom, and that was around 9 cents at the time. It did go all the way up to about 78 cents. It's currently sitting at around a 50% discount, 46 cents, but you can see that it is up today. But this is exactly why I tell you guys, we want to get into these projects early, right? And Aleph has, obviously it did have some tough, if you could hold, it was definitely not easy to hold through all this, but if you did hold through even to today, you're still higher than when we initially had spoke about it, right? And obviously one of the ones that just launched today was monkey ball. In fact, they said that they had overloaded and broken the monkey ball site. And if we have a look over here at FTX, it is starting to have a sort of bottom out at around $1.26. But we were talking about this, like, obviously at the pre-sales, and you could see down here that even when it launched, it was launching at around 2 cents. So it launched at 2 cents, it got up to $4, and it's currently sitting at $1.25. But considering it was down here at around 2 cents, guys, 2 cents to $1.24. Do you understand why I'm talking about these opportunities? You know, some people, they go in the comments and they're like, oh, like you're shilling these things. And I'm like, guys, look, it's opportunity. If you were able to get into this monkey ball sale, regardless of how you guys feel about it, look at this, launched at 2 cents, now it's at $1.25. So these are the opportunities. I'm not talking about betting the house on it. You know, $50, $100, you put $50 in this, it goes from 2 cents to $1.25. That's a lot of money. You know, take half, put some into Bitcoin, maybe take some profits, right? Obviously, always put it into Bitcoin. So another one that's been on my radar now that I wanted to bring to you guys is YGGC. Now, they are the first sub-DAO of Yield Guild. So they say their mission is to create the biggest and most sustainable play-to-earn economy focused on Southeast Asia. And I mean, guys, hello, big names here. Yield Guild, Infinity Ventures Crypto, and if you even come down here, look at some of these other guys that are investing. You have Crypto.com, you have Circle, Hashed, Poloniex, Polygon, you have our good old buddies Morningstar. You know, I always follow those guys. I love what they do. FBG Capital. I mean, come on. So this is what you have to pay attention to. And I do like the fact that they are focusing on Southeast Asia. It is a niche that they are more familiar with, which means that they will be able to provide better for that. Obviously, you know, sometimes there's language barriers and things like that. So as I said, they are a DAO, and they're looking to acquire and manage NFTs that are going to be used in the metaverse with a mission to create the biggest and most sustainable play-to-earn virtual economy focused on Southeast Asia. Now, they talk about more than 700 million people in Southeast Asia that are ready and willing to onboard into the metaverse. And I also talked about the difficulty of onboarding, especially with these NFTs. And yeah, some of them can get a little bit expensive, right? So they say that their mandate is to invest locally and grow locally within the Southeast Asia community. They say that they aim to build and localize the amazing work by YGG in existing big play-to-earn markets like the Philippines as they tackle the subsequent Southeast Asia markets. And the power of the DAO is the ability for the community to grow their stake in the DAO over time, giving members the chance to run an organization within an organization, while the YGGC sub-DAO is in full control of its own operations in terms of engaging with games and acquiring NFTs to suit the local community. They are still an active contributor to YGG and actively participate in the YGG community as well. And you can obviously see some of the things they have in their vision: NFT assets, treasury management, incubation, investment, diversification of opportunities, as well as onboarding. And yeah, I highly do recommend, if you guys are interested, please do your own research. Don't just buy something or look into something because I'm talking about it. You know, I'm just a guy on the internet. What do I know? But go and check them out at YGGC over on Twitter. And recently they did partner with Axis Metaverse, which is pretty incredible. So go have a look at that. Pay attention to that. Lots of big things coming out from them. And, there is criticism, right? Like some people say, for example, Jack says, you don't own Web3. The VCs and the LPs do. It will never escape their incentives. It's ultimately a centralized entity with a different label. Know what you're getting into. Now, I agree and I disagree on this. Occasionally, it could start out that way. You know what I mean? But over time, I do believe these DAOs do eventually give fair opportunity or Web3 or whatever he's talking about. And at the end of the day, really anyone can be a liquidity provider. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But realistically, not everything is going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is such a special and unique entity. It is such an amazing creature, an animal, a beast. Satoshi's vision will never be matched at that point, which is why I do believe that Bitcoin is the digital gold. It will never be surpassed as a store of value. And, these other things, well, they're going to have competition, right? Ethereum is going to have competition with things like Solana or Avalanche or whatever. And although Ethereum, in my opinion, does have the strongest community, the biggest user base, you do have to look at how history, has been. Just because you're first doesn't mean that you're the best. Now, I disagree when it comes to Bitcoin, just simply because Bitcoin's network not even just the network effect, but the hash rate, the longevity, the just growth of it over time is just unsurpassed by any. But talking about things like, for example, everyone used to have a Nokia phone. Does anybody use a Nokia phone now? They used to be the biggest, hottest phones. Everyone had them. And now I don't even hear about them, right? What happened to, for example, Blockbuster Video, right? Well, they couldn't evolve with the times, and now Netflix took over, right? So you have to think about all these things that came before it. I mean, you think about AOL, right? AOL was like the biggest way to get on the internet and get and talk to people, in these communities and chat rooms. And like, where's AOL today? You know what I'm saying? So just because you're the first doesn't mean you're the best. I think Bitcoin is the exception. But I think when we think about Web3, you have to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at, there's lots of competition. There's lots of, people coming into this. And is it centralized? Well, I suppose maybe partially. Are companies centralized? Somewhat, but can you not buy stock of publicly traded companies? Right? Can you not earn dividends off of that company's revenue? So same thing here. LPs helping to support the network, helping to provide the liquidity, the VCs providing the initial, fundraising to get the projects off the ground. It's give and take, guys. It's give and take. It's not black or white. It's gray. It's gray. It's a very gray area, right? And which is why I do say that you should do your own research. But I do want to end on this, and I think this is really massively bullish just for blockchain all around. So you have former U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissioner Chair Jay Clayton reckons that the U.S. should tokenize its treasuries to make them more like crypto. So believe it or not, he implied that blockchain is now, and I'm going to quote this, a matter of national security. Okay. According to Clayton, tokenization, especially of U.S. treasuries and related funding processes, could make the financial system more efficient and secure, potentially saving billions of dollars. He says the nascent crypto market is the tip of the financial information technology's iceberg. Below the water's surface lie vast interconnected payment networks and credit and security markets that exceed hundreds of trillions of dollars in asset value. He says we use these markets and depend on them, but they are ripe for functional change. So, guys, times are changing. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if you disagree with it, right? If you don't believe, people said, email was stupid, right? The internet was stupid, and no one's going to use these devices. I mean, they said electricity was stupid. They said that the automobile will never surpass horses and buggies, right? And you have to think of a lot of the people that are behind this who doesn't really want this to happen. Well, it's usually the people that are threatened by that change. But at the end of the day, we know it's coming. We know the metaverse is coming. If you think virtual augmented reality is stupid, fine. That's your opinion. You don't have to go into the metaverse. I'm not really too big into having an avatar running around in a virtual world all day. I like the real world. I like going outside. I play pinball machines. I like to feel them. I like to, see the lights and watch the ball and gravity. I love all that stuff. But, some people, and the majority of, what's happening is we're moving into these directions. We're getting digital. The metaverse is coming. NFTs are coming. They're going to digitize and potentially tokenize, U.S. treasuries. So it's happening. It's happening, guys. And I believe that at the focal point in the center, there's always going to be Bitcoin, which is why it's very difficult for me to ever really truly become a Bitcoin bear. I could become a short-term bear and, maybe we're going to have a little bit of a sideways consolidation downtrend. But long term, my friends, it is going to continue to go up and up and up and up and up forever. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And I do hope you have a little bit of Bitcoin. I hope you're not totally in the altcoin casino. But if you are, that's you. I will never, say you shouldn't do that. I just personally think you should always have some Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the proven coin, okay? It just is. So, like I said, even with some of these projects that we talk about on this channel, like I'm not talking about like just going in with all your money. I mean, I'm talking like $100, $200, if you can, 20x $100 and you can keep doing that and then you can take half of it, maybe put it into Bitcoin and then you can hold 25% and then put the other 25% in a stable coin and wait and buy the dip. You have to have these strategies if you want to be successful. And this is what I was trying to say the other day in my video is that, essentially bear markets are not really bad. a lot of people lose money in bear markets because they don't have the mentality to believe and to hold in the projects and in the cryptos that are building long term. And there is a lot of money to be made in the bear markets. And to be honest, a lot of the realized gains that I have right now are not because of what happened over the past year. It's because of being in those bear markets and accumulating in the down times, in the red times, in the dark times when nobody even wants to pay attention to it, right? So anyway, guys, thank you for coming back to the channel. I am going to continue to, let you guys know about these opportunities. If you don't like these types, videos where I talk about them, skip it. There's timestamps, we always focus on Bitcoin. We always focus on Ethereum, but there are lots of opportunities. And when you just see some of these 100x, 200x, you're turning $100 into $20,000, and this is happening. I feel like it's irresponsible to not at least allow you as the viewer the opportunity to do your own research and see if it's something that you're interested in. But nevertheless, guys, at the end of the day, if you just want a dollar cost average Bitcoin, that has always been a proven strategy, and you have my seal of approval if that's how you want to play these markets. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You are the reason that I make these videos in the first place. And of course, if you do want to learn how to trade Bitcoin profitably and responsibly, make sure that you check out the tutorials. There's 3 different tutorials. I show you how to long Bitcoin, short Bitcoin, risk management. I go over absolutely everything, and there are over $8,000 in bonuses. Check the links out below and make sure that you watch these videos popping up right here, right now. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.